What is going on, guys? Welcome back. It's been a while. Took a month off in April, of course, my birthday month, but we are back. And as you guys can see, we've got the ZL1 still behind us. Got so much to catch you guys up on, so let's get that is loud. Man, check this thing out. The ZL1 is still here, looking beautiful. Man, I really do love the way it looks with the factory OEM wheels. We do got the factory OEM wing back on, got the rear view mirror working perfectly. But before we talk a little bit more about the ZL1 and the main topic of this video, guys, I want to give a huge shout out to our video sponsor, Simply Carbon Fiber, guys. They make awesome carbon fiber products like this wallet here. Now this wallet, guys, as you can see in the sun, glistens awesome, is a card and money clip holder. It can hold about 4 to 6 cards and basically as much money as you have. I've got my money there, holds it pretty secure, and these are awesome. Check them out on their website, link in the description below and in the comments. Really great. And if you guys go ahead and look in the description, you'll find our promo code where you can get 10% off, so go check it out. But anyways, let's get right to the video. Now, it's been a while, guys. We've had this thing here. If you guys saw my last video, we did post this thing for sale, and I've gotten a few offers here and there, but nothing too serious. I'm no rush to selling it, so I'm gonna enjoy it while I can. But if you guys are interested, again, it is up for sale for $70,000, 8,300 miles. I just got the inspection recently done. No check engine lights, nothing like that, and passes emissions, which is what we're gonna be talking about today, so stick around for that. While we still have it, we'll probably be doing a few more videos, like taking it back to the dyno with the 50% E content from when we added the auxiliary fuel system on the low side, and do some more draggy stuff, do our original 40 to 100, 60 to 130, go back to the track if we can. The track was actually closed for much of April due to other events, so really haven't had any time for doing testing tunes aside from me having my birthday in April and being out of town a lot. So haven't had much time to really enjoy this car, take it to the track, do that kind of stuff, so didn't bother posting content. But anyways, guys, today let's talk about the biggest changes that we're seeing in today's car industry. That's right, obviously cars like this ZL1 with the supercharged V8 big engine cars are going away. We've got this being potentially basically the last best version of a Camaro we're ever going to see in gas form. Everything is going to electric, hybridization, and that sort of thing. You've got Dodge, who said no more Hellcats. We are now going to a V6 hybrid turbo setup. I mean, there's a bunch of examples all across the board. Ford with their Mach-E Mustang. They are coming out with the next gen Mustang, which is supposed to have the same engines. Awesome for them. Great job for Ford is still providing those engines. But things like the GT500 with its V8 supercharged engines are going to be a thing of the past. Think of the Z06 C8 is probably going to be the last naturally aspirated V8 engine we're ever going to see in a production car. Everything has been hybrid, turbos, things like that. And honestly, that is pretty sad because everyone is going with emissions. EPA is forcing all kinds of stuff on us, and these cars are the last of a dying breed. Now, one thing that I wanted to talk about today was emissions, specifically with the EPA and what they're doing, and which basically affects all of us that are into modifying our V8 cars like the ZL1. As you guys know, we do have a free-flowing exhaust on our ZL1, but with the use of a mix of E85, honestly, I think we probably are doing better emissions wise than even when it was factory exhaust on pump gas. And that is because, of course, E85 burns a lot cleaner. And you can definitely tell by looking at these exhaust tips. Now, as you see here, Look at the main exhaust tip when we don't have the muffler is this outside one, and you can see it's a little dirty, not too bad compared to the inside. But this car has been running on E50 for a long time, and I haven't washed it. It's driven about 300 miles, and you can see how it hasn't gotten very dark. I mean, it's got a little bit of soot there, but it's not bad. When the car was all factory exhaust, stock header, stock everything, this thing would drive on 93, and the exhaust tips were so much worse. They would get black. You would have completely blacked out exhaust tips from all the carbon and stuff that gets burnt. So if that's an indication, guys, obviously the car, when properly dialed in and tuned on E85, will burn so much cleaner, which means you're doing a lot better for the environment, if I'm being dead serious. So the fact that the EPA is saying you can't modify these things, you can't change any exhaust or emissions because it is bad for it, they're just full of BS. They're BS, because if you are able to modify the exhaust and modify any emissions intake, exhaust paths, if you can properly calibrate it and run the appropriate fueling like E85, even a mix of it, not necessarily full 85, you're gonna be out there probably causing less emissions than something like something like my GMC Denali here. Now look at this. This is all black, completely blacked out on both ends of this exhaust tip. That's all carbon soot from the emissions, and this thing is bone stock running on just regular gasoline. So guys, I don't know about you, but I think what the EPA is doing is BS. The EPA has gotten after companies for modifying any kind of emissions. The biggest one and the most important one most recently has been Cobb Tuning, which tunes, I believe, is a similar company like HP Tuners, but they tune all the import stuff. And they basically told them that you have to remove any emissions modification stuff from the calibrations. And so their newest update has all that eliminated, which means if you do any modification to your exhaust and you have something like a check engine light, because of that, Cobb access port will not allow you to remove those check engine lights and stuff so you can pass your inspection with the latest update. That's kind of concerning because we've got HP Tuners on the LS side of things and the domestic side, and if they were to do that with HP Tuners, guys, I think that would start and basically be the end all for any kind of modification to cars like these, especially modern late model cars, because then you would basically only have a race car. You wouldn't be able to register it, you wouldn't be able to drive it on the street, and for a car that costs $70,000-$60,000, that's not something that many people are going to be able to do. Most people buy their cars, they daily drive them, they use them for work here and there, and if you can't register it and you can't make it a legal street car, then what's the point? Even with something like as mildly built as this, which is just intake, exhaust, and some tuning. That is very, very concerning. That being said, guys, that's just my little rant. I mean, luckily we're able to get this at the current state. We're able to still get our inspections, still able to drive this car, and like I mentioned, we aren't, to the EPA, we are not polluting any more than something that is coming from the factory, especially if it is dialed in properly. So EPA, get off our stuff, really let the racing community do its thing. We are not nearly the contributors to the emissions that you think we are compared to other industries. Maybe you should be focusing on those other industries compared to our industries, because honestly, there's a lot of people that depend on the modification industry, and all the stuff that you guys have been doing is basically causing things like exhaust companies, tuning companies, mechanics to be worried, and rightfully so, potentially end their business and their livelihood. So that's just my rant on the EPA, guys. Sucks to see that that's what's happening and that these cars are effectively going away. I mean, Corvette is coming out with hybrid and full electric Corvettes. The Camaro is going to be going away in 2023. So guys, this ZL1 is going to be the pinnacle, basically, unless they come out with some like final send-off with the LT5, which I don't see happening. You know, the LT4, ZL1, and ZL1 LEs, are going to be the final form, ultimate send-offs for Camaro. And honestly, I am looking at every possible way that I can eventually just keep this car and not sell it and have it alongside my C8 Z06, because I know I'm going to regret selling this thing if it does get sold. But now, talking about the C8 Z06, guys, some pretty awesome news. Obviously, it's the beginning of May, and we still don't have any pricing, availability, or anything like that yet. We were hoping to have that by April. That kind of came and went. But some good news, the guys over at the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum have posted, and it looks like the probability of us getting pricing by the end of this month is pretty much guaranteed, guys. We should be seeing pricing of everything released towards the end of this month, with the first orders being able to get submitted more than likely June 16th, guys. That is right. That is the last Thursday before spring, which is when GM Chevrolet said that we would be able to start placing orders for the Z06. So obviously Camaro's still here, but think about this, if we can get the Z06 and have both of them side by side, that would be awesome. But with that being said, guys, Z06, more information definitely coming down the line, and we are going to be talking more and more about that as we get closer. Expected delivery, I'm thinking I probably won't see a delivery of that Z06 until about September. So still got some time, still got plenty of time, unless someone gives me the money that I want for this car. And in the meantime, I'm going to do everything I can to find a way to basically increase my income somewhat, so that I can keep both and have both the ZL1 and the Z06 side by side. But anyways, let's go ahead. If you made it this far, I'm gonna give you guys a treat and show you guys what a free-flowing exhaust sounds like on a cold startup with the valves open. Woo! That's right, guys. Check, that thing is amazing. Sounds so nice. It's so smooth. I miss obviously the cam's chopping sound, but having something smooth like this is also really, really nice. But with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this little update video and rant on the EPA. And go ahead and share this, guys. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Do you think cars with modified exhausts that run E85 and have the proper tuning have less emissions than factory cars that run on gasoline? Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. I think they do, especially if your tune is dialed in properly. But with that being said, guys, I'm glad to be back and hope to give you guys more content posted weekly. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.